Okay, so we are live, guys, and I'm gonna shut this door. And yeah, I didn't realize till recently that WeChat is 15 years old. Weixin 是15岁，15岁。WeChat is 15 years old. Crazy to think. And I started using WeChat back in 2012. So I was kind of early to the party, a year in. And it's changed my out of all the platforms, it has changed my life the most. I'd say LinkedIn and WeChat have been the most monumental. Although I've had some success on the other platforms, I think generally let's remove. I've got another live stream here, which is my YouTube one. No, which we do? Move it here. Yeah. So, and they had this event recently in Shenzhen, which was amazing. They had this interactive day where they had all these different decision makers, and the WeChat team invited me and gave me an interview, which was really cool. I got to meet the whole team. So I got to meet the person that does, like their pay, WeChat Pay, Weixin Fu, the person that does, Weixin Gonggong Hao, WeChat Moments, the person that does Weixin Shuping Hao, the person that does a video. Amazing team. And I'm not just saying that because I'm live streaming on WeChat. Honestly, I think out of all the teams that I've spoken to, or from all the social medias, because I've spoken to the teams from Douyin and from Xiaohongshu, WeChat has always been the most supportive. I mean, they were the quickest ones to get me onto live streaming. Out of all the platforms, Douyin I can't get anywhere. Xiaohongshu, they cut me all the time. Whereas WeChat are just like, yeah, as long as you don't say anything too sensitive, which I'm not going to anyway, because I'm not a political channel. Your content should be fine. I just do funny British. Hello, funny British content. So yeah, I got interviewed by the team. Really amazing interviews, which I'm going to be posting, hopefully on my channel. Really good questions as well from the guy interviewing me, like really insightful, and kind of to the point about how to use WeChat. Because I get a lot of international companies approaching me, and universities, student accommodation, private schools, independent schools, boarding schools, B2B, B2C. I get a lot of these different organizations, companies approaching me. So I've got a little bit of it, not in the nose, it's on the side. I get a little bit. So I get a lot of companies approaching me, and they all have pain. They want a piece of China, but they don't know how to do it. They don't know how to do business here. So I'm kind of there to bridge that gap. I know how to grow companies here in China, online mainly, but also I know how to do it offline now with expos and things like that. But yeah, but it comes back to the original question, which is if you want to do business in China, you have to be on WeChat. Right, I still get international companies and Laowai foreigners coming to China trying to do business without WeChat, and it just doesn't happen. They're like, oh, why is my WhatsApp not working? Because they don't use WhatsApp here; they use WeChat, Weixin. So it can be quite frustrating sometimes. No matter how much content I do about, you got to do this on WeChat. You've got to, get that out there. By the way, I don't like being called bro. I'm British. I hate it when someone calls me bro. I really don't like bro. Right? Anyone ever calls me bro, I don't mind mate or pal or maybe fella, but not bro. But anyway, I live in Shanghai. So my English name is Dan. It's all over my channel. It's all over my channel, guys. I get these questions sometimes, like, just go and watch the videos. It's all in the videos. So it's all over. But this WeChat event was in Guangzhou. So yeah, and the team were all amazing. Do you have WeCom? That's a good question. So WeCom is almost like the CRM of WeChat. So I do get a lot of companies coming to me saying, yeah, I want to do a bit of, I want my clients or my leads within WeChat, and WeCom is that link. And WeCom, you can actually link it now. POW is okay. Oh, cool. You're from Guangzhou. Cool. Guangzhou is the heart of WeChat, right? That's where Tianxun is based, right? So, sorry, I'm getting bombarded with messages. Oh. Sorry, people messaging me like crazy. So yeah, I've just over the years, if you've ever got business or an issue or anything like that, the WeChat team have just sorted me out. They've always supported me. But good luck getting hold of someone at YouTube or Douyin or Xiaohongshu. I used to have really good links at Xiaohongshu, but I find that at Xiaohongshu, they'll just be there for a couple of weeks and they're gone. And I've noticed recently the content on Xiaohongshu and Douyin is not scaling as much as WeChat. WeChat, their platform is just, it's all in one, right? So I wish we had something like that in the West, but we don't. We don't have something like WeChat. It's one of a kind. It's unique. And more Western companies need to wake up to the fact that, if they want a piece of China, or they want to interact with Chinese audiences, they've got to have WeChat, or they've got to have QR codes. They've got to make it accessible for Chinese tourists or Chinese business to do more business. You can't use cash, right? How old were you when you started your business? I mean, I've been doing business since the playground days of, my first business was selling the latest craze on the playgrounds when I was 7 or 8, when Pokemon cards came out. That was my first business. I didn't used to trade Pokemon cards. I used to sell them. That's how forward thinking I was. And then I had little businesses here and there growing up. But I didn't start properly doing business until later on. I'm not gonna divulge my age. It's clever, Hank. I saw what you did there. How old were you? Because then you can work that out. Are you by the hand? Yes, I am. I am by the hand. And if you see my name, that is my name, by the hand. So I've got kind of two personas. I've got the funny British in Great Britain, and how does one sound British? How does one sound British? I've got that persona, and then I've got the real persona, which is me right now. This is the real Daniel by the hand, the more professional persona. And as you can see, I'm not as wacky. I'm not like, whoa, hey. Now I'm more cool, calm, and collected and professional. So, and by the way, guys, if you want to call in and join the live stream, you're more than welcome to. You're always welcome to join. Hi, welcome. What did I think of Guangzhou? I think Guangzhou is one of those like futuristic cities, a bit like Shanghai. It's like it's the future, right? So when you go there, like everything is convenient, tech. People are really friendly down there. I really like it in Guangzhou. I like Shenzhen. I I can't think of a Chinese city that I've been to where I didn't really like it. Not yet. But yeah, Guangzhou is cool. I think there's lots of opportunities down there. It's obviously close to Hong Kong as well, so it's pretty cool. Drinking my water today, my bottle of water. And yeah, unfortunately, when I was down there for this WeChat event. When was that WeChat event now? I think that was it 3 weeks ago? Yeah, something like that. But I didn't get a chance to really get out into the city because this event, I was literally there for 2 nights. Yeah, I was going to stay until the weekend, but I had to come back to Shanghai. So Shanghai is cool. But when you've lived here for 10 years, you know, for example, if I walk along Waitan, or if I walk along the Bund, it's still cool to see Lujiazui, right? It's still cool to see the Pearl Tower and stuff. But I'm like, woo! And I don't understand why foreigners always go to like, what was it? Yuan Gongyuan, like that, Yuan Gardens. Like, there's so much more interesting places to go to. We call that a big tourist trap. So, but yeah, I really like Guangzhou. Guangzhou is a cool city. And yeah, it's cool. Jim Fatimo, you're welcome to join the chat if you like. I'm always open to people joining, and as long as you keep it clean, you're welcome to dial in. I've had people dial in before. Just, we can't discuss politics. Well, I don't want to discuss politics. It can't do anything. I just want to focus on life, business, and all that jazz. But yeah, I've been doing a lot more live stream recently because in the West, it's kind of taking off now. In China, they've had live streaming for 10 years. You know, live streaming selling has been around for a long time now, and now the West is catching up. So now TikTok is blowing up with e-commerce, and I do hope to get on that. I'd like to explore some opportunities. I've had a few companies approaching me about doing live stream selling, but nothing as everything's always been like, let's do commission. I'm like, no, I want to do something that's a bit more. I'm in Shenzhen. Yeah, I used to live in Shenzhen. I lived in Shenzhen in 2014. I did an internship there, and recently I went to Shenzhen. When was it? In September last year, and it had changed a lot, even in 11 years. And from what I remember, I lived near Haiyue Ditiejian, Haiyue subway station, and that place had malls and all these kind of things. But when I was there, it wasn't as developed. Greeting, oh, Hainan. I love Hainan. I love Hainan. What I like to call the Chinese Caribbean. I love Hainan. That's a good question. Do I have family in Ireland? I think I do. I've definitely, in the last few hundred years, some of my family went to Ireland or came from Ireland. I'm from England, but yeah. How to call in? I'm using a computer. I think you have to use your phone. I don't know how to invite people, actually. Also, I'm trying to get this thing now. Like, there's this goal I have to do. You have to send me a flash. That was that ice cream. If you can send me an ice cream, that would be interesting. Brit watching from Shanghai. Cool. Hello, Vic. Are you one of those cool Brits? I get a lot of Brits are like, you're not British. This is not how we are. I'm like, I'm just acting. I hope you're a cool Brit. Have I been to Shenzhen Bay Park? Yes. Did I go there in September? I think I did. Yeah. I wish more Brits would all connect more. I mean, the last 3 days clearly shows how much opportunity there is now, I think, for British companies coming to China. There's so much opportunities. And actually, I've noticed my LinkedIn all of a sudden has started to blow up again. Find stuff that's happened in the last 4 days in China. I've been talking about that for years, about British companies need to come to China, need to come to do business. I've been talking about that. I talk about it more than the chambers and all those Shanhui NGOs, all that stuff. So yeah, I'm delighted about the last days, what's been happening. Oh, cool. Daniel, Shenzhen is. I've got my first comment on YouTube. Ooh! Shenzhen is cool. My favorite city to hang out, but not much culture there. Basically, a big shopping mall. There is culture there. There is some cultural stuff. You just need to explore a bit more, I'd say. I mean, you've got the stuff like Window of the World and all that stuff, but there is some more cultural, local stuff to do in Shenzhen. You just need to kind of visit. I don't teach English online. I used to do a lot of that, but I'm more interested in teaching life skills and business and consultancy. That's what I'm more interested in now. And speaking English, you're more likely to learn that kind of stuff. I've done more of that kind of stuff. But no, I'm not an English teacher. I used to be an English teacher many years ago. But there's no money in it. There's no money in it being an English teacher anymore. And I want to fly business class between China and the UK, and you won't be able to do that on an English teacher's salary, unfortunately. The best bit I used to like about teaching was, interacting with the students, having conversations, and public speaking is stuff I'm more interested in. So a lot of people get confused about what I do. I'm not just a quote unquote influencer, content creator, right? That's about 5% of what I do. The other 95% of what I do is helping international companies, mainly from the US, UK, Europe, Australia, in China, do all of their digital stuff. So do their WeChat, do their Xiaohongshu, do their Chinese website, Baidu, helping them at expos. So kind of like their digital infrastructure. I help international companies do that in China. Mainly B2B stuff, but I do a little bit of B2C, a little bit in universities, schools that all want to target Chinese audiences, whether it's a student or a consumer or a decision maker. That's what I do. So a lot of people get confused. They're like, you're just a Wang Hong. How do you make money from being a Wang Hong? You can't make loads of money from being a Wang Hong unless you are millions of fans, selling courses, doing the whole lot, TV shows. I mean, I've got some really good friends right now that have got millions of fans, and they're struggling in China right now. They're putting out content every day, and they're just like, why can't my content resonate? I mean, a lot of my friends, well, I'll say friends, I'd say they're more acquaintances, that are kind of content creators in China. They're usually those people that are teaching English speaking Chinese, which I think is the most ridiculous thing on the planet. I think if you're learning a language, you should learn it in that. 如果我要学中文，我要我的中文老师总是说中文，我不要他说英语。I don't want. If I'm learning Chinese, I do not want my teacher speaking English at me. I want them speaking Chinese the whole time. 我要听力. I want my 听力, my listening to improve. So, yeah. So I think it's ridiculous, but then everyone, you got to earn a living, right? People say that you can put some British goods links. How though? They always say that, like, how? And let's say I put a goods down there. Are people really going to buy it? I don't know. I just don't think people are going to buy that kind of stuff. If I put a link down there, are people going to spend thousands of renminbi on every live stream buying the stuff? I don't know. I should speak to the WeChat team actually. Actually, I might create another live stream for tomorrow. If you can convince Pepperami to enter the Chinese market, I would appreciate it a lot. I thought, wait, a Pepperami? I'm trying to think. Have I seen Pepperami in supermarkets here before? Have I seen them before? I don't know. Pepperami. I mean, there's so many brands around the world that should be in China. So many that I can think of. Really, Pepperami are not in China. I did not know that. Interesting. I'm just setting up my live stream for tomorrow. I'm going to do a live stream tomorrow morning. I'm doing these live streams for many reasons. I enjoy doing them, but also it does boost your channel every time you do a live stream. Really, Pepperami are not in China. Well, I'm always happy to speak to these people. Anyone that's looking at China, I'll give you another brand that should definitely be in China. Is Huel. Have you seen the brand Huel? They do like this drink. It's like a proteiny drink. And if you go to the UK, Huel is everywhere. It's always in the supermarkets. But the guy, I know that the decision maker, he doesn't want anything to do with China. I think it's absolute madness. And then you go on Taobao and you go on the e-commerce of these Chinese platforms, and people are selling Huel. I really think there is a market for sports drinks in China. Things like Huel. I had to overpay for Huel to get into China. Yeah, exactly. Like they would absolutely crush it in China. Or Prime, KSI and Logan Paul's drink. They would absolutely crush it in China. But they speak to the wrong people. They need to speak to me. I know how to get brands into China and grow them. They always speak to the wrong people. But yeah, a brand like that, Huel or Pepperami. It's about Pepper. I think Pepperami would do really well in China because, it's a snack. Chinese people do like to eat like little snacks. And Pepperami, you never heard of it? Interesting. We'll check it out. There used to be an advert when I was a kid. And the Pepperami would be like this plasticine thing, and the slogan was Pepperami. It's a bit of an animal, and it's almost like teenagers. It was like a cool snack to eat. It's just a meat stick. It's like that big, about that big, and you can get it double size. And there's all different flavors and things. And last time I was in the UK, I saw they had all these different flavors. Not pepperoni. Pepperami. So guys, if you're I've got 3 live streams happening right now. I've got YouTube, I've got TikTok, and I've got WeChat all happening at the same time. So I'm answering questions from all different platforms. But yeah, like a Pepperami pizza, I think that's been done, hasn't it? I think I did see that one year. Yeah, good question, Daniel. Just out of curiosity, Daniel, how did you come across my channel? I'm always interested, like, how do people come across me? A lot of the time people just say, oh, I saw one of your videos. I plan to apply for a government-sponsored program to work as a Chinese language teacher. I think that would be brilliant. I think we need to learn Chinese in the UK. As much as I love the French and German language, I don't know why we didn't learn Chinese. I would have loved to have learned Mandarin. I think that the year I left school, they brought in a Mandarin program, which was really frustrating because if I'd have had the opportunity, and I think the exam is really easy at GCSE. I think it's just like ni hao ma, wo hen hao xie xie. I think it's like that kind of exam. It's like HSK 1, right? Yeah, this is hot water. Speaking of which, it's half an hour, isn't it? I need to do some push-ups. So I usually this is my little routine that I do. I'm gonna drop down. I do like 10 push-ups, usually every half an hour or hour, just to get the blood flowing a bit. Just give me 2 seconds. And guys, you follow me on LinkedIn? Fantastic. And I stalked you on here because I was curious what other non-teaching British people are doing in China. I love a bit of a stalker. I haven't had stalkers since my first year of doing social media, which was 6 years ago. I used to get all the stalkers back then. I used to get people following me home. I don't get that anymore. People got bored, I guess. But yeah, so the British people that are not teaching in China, there's not many of us. I reckon there's probably less than 1,000 of us. If I had to put a number on us, there's less than 1,000 Brits in China that are doing business, are actually doing business. If I had to put a number on it, because I know that there's less than 10,000 Brits in China. I know that as a fact because that's official data. But I reckon, yeah, it's probably less than 1,000 of us. That's why I was a little bit disappointed the last few days. You know, they had that event in Shanghai on Friday night. Maybe I should have been there. Like, I'm one of the few Brits in China that's kind of doing content about being British. I'm based in Shanghai. Maybe they might have thought to invite me. Nah. But the WeChat team invite me. The WeChat team makes me feel happy, you know, makes me feel welcome. But honestly speaking, all of those British organizations in China, I'm not going to name names, but they are nice jacket. Thank you. It is, it's Tommy Hilfiger. Actually, I'll tell you why I got this top. I'll give you a quick story. I was in Australia in December and I was, they had Boxing Day, the day after Christmas Day. They had these amazing sales in Melbourne. And I saw this Australian guy, quite a buff guy, he's like walking down the street wearing this. And in my life, there's only been a few times when I've been swayed by something someone wore or an advert. I remember when I watched the movie iRobot featuring Will Smith, and he puts on these Converses, these leather Converses, and then when he puts them on, he's like, "Think of you, they look cool." So anyway, guys, I said I was going to do some push-ups, didn't I? Just give me 2 seconds. It is wool. I did say I was going to give me 2 seconds. I'm going to do some push-ups and I'll do some pull-ups. Give me 2 seconds. Woohoo! Right, that's some push-ups done. And yeah, so not all the Brits are English teachers. There are some doing. I hear there's some Brits still work. I mean, obviously, a lot of the British companies. I think there's still some at Jaguar Land Rover, from what I hear, although most of them are left. Also, obviously, British Airways. But honestly speaking, a lot of the Brits. I'm not saying all of them. But a lot of the Brits I've met here in Shanghai are effing arrogant, right? They are very arrogant. Unfortunately, it's a weird thing in our culture. I don't have it because I'm very welcoming and embracing of people. But I find that when you meet another Brit, if I asked another Brit, where are you from? And they said, I'm from Kent. I'd be, oh, Canterbury, beautiful province, beautiful county, all this kind of stuff. I'm really inquisitive. But if I say to people, "Oh yeah, I'm from Bedfordshire," they're like, "Oh, where's that?" There's no curiosity. And I always say this: I don't have many British friends in Shanghai. Most of my friends are foreign and Chinese. So I don't know. I don't know many female British people. I know that there is a lady that lives in my Shaochu who I say hello to in my complex, but I would love to have more British friends in Shanghai, like a group of guys and girls who we hang out with, but I just don't meet them anymore. It's weird. It's almost like I really don't meet a lot of Brits here. Do I know anyone from Scotland, Shanghai? Yes, there is a lady. I do know a Scottish lady who has a really successful business. Who I spoke to her the other day. Very nice lady. She has a business called Pinion Press. So she makes all these really beautiful designs of tea towels, and I'm not going to mention her name, but she's very nice. She's a nice lady. I met her through boxing, actually. I used to do boxing, and I met her. She was nice. But British English ladies in Shanghai, don't come across them, especially business. I wish there were more. It'd be great to fly the flag a bit, but no, I don't think people are happier now. I feel like people were happier in the 90s and before that. I feel like people are unhappier now. It's a good question. That's a really good question, Ashley. It's a very profound question. Would you say people nowadays are generally much happier than those in the past? No. I mean, they always say this, like, we're living in such an amazing time in history. But I'm on AI, I'm kind of on the fence. Like, I'm using it, but at the same time, I'm, really torn. Or is there a war coming? Are we going to be on the front lines? But Daniel, you seem like a cool guy. I haven't come across you before. There's always, I'm always open to, like, I'll tell you what I did recently, which is really cool, is I've got together some of my really good foreign friends that are like just guys, right? So we've got like a group of guys together we're just going to do cool things. It's not a gay thing, right? It's just 10 guys. We're going to go paintballing. We're going to go go-karting. We're just going to be lads together. And I haven't had that in many years. I had that a little bit last year with some friends of mine. We were going for food and having some drinks and beers, food and beers. But yeah, I've got back into that. I'm gonna do it myself. I'm just organizing a group of guys. I'm the only Brit. No, actually, there is another British guy. There's going to be 2 Brits, but yeah, it's all these foreign guys. There's a Chinese guy as well, and yeah, we're just going to kind of hang out. I should do some pull-ups. This pull-up bar, I just don't do enough pull-ups here. I really should. I'll get rid of my little Super Mario puzzle. Pretty cool, isn't it? I got that in Japan when I went there. I stuck it together. Ooh, yeah. Bang. Oh, God. 3 at the moment. It's not enough, I know, but I have been doing it all day. I'll try and aim for like pull-ups every day. I'll try and do Inti Shang Shang. I'll try and do, I don't know. How many am I doing a day at the moment? 50 maybe. But then push-ups, I'll do 100. Crunches, a couple hundred. I just watched a movie Aftersun. That's not an adult movie, is it? Hold on. Oh, I've heard of this movie. Aftersun. Yeah. Starring Paul Mescal. The film is loosely based on childhood and follows 11-year-old Scottish girl on holiday with her father at a Turkish resort on the eve of his 31st birthday. Yeah, I think I've seen that movie. It's a good movie. Yeah, that is a good movie. I really like the questions today, guys. Very profound. Really good. And I haven't watched a lot of movies recently. I've just been working really hard and getting content up. I've been all about just pushing the content because January for me, like a lot of business, it's always a quiet month. And things are not really going to get going until after Chinese New Year. So I've just been pushing out the content, doing these live streams, just getting my face out there. And oh, my poor plant. And then yeah, just hitting the gym. Oh, I have many memories of. If someone was to ask me my happiest memories, I'd say it would be being in the back of a car with my mum or dad driving us to some sort of holiday, listening to the radio. That's how I learned English, by the way, guys. Just listening to songs and asking my mum or dad, what does that mean? What does that mean? So that would, yeah, I have a lot of memories. I have a real one of the best holidays I ever went on in the UK was to Bournemouth when I was a kid, and it was just amazing. You know, the summers back then in the 90s were incredible. The music, everything. Yes, I do. I do help foreign investors, but the thing is, you got to have budget, right? You got to have money for this. Like a lot of people approach me just wanting free advice and strategies. Like, no, if you're good at something, never do it for free. So I do help. I help foreign companies, foreign investors. But yeah, don't approach me about free shit. Like actually approach me about money deals because I get this all the time. Oh, I've got loads of people messaging me. Sorry, guys. Give me 2 seconds. Sorry, I've got my team messaging me right now. Sorry. Yeah, that's a great song, Losing My Religion. Speaking of which, my guitar is down there, which I am going to play tonight. I've set aside 30 minutes to play this bad boy. So I'm going to play my guitar tonight. Oh, my pick. And I will be playing this. I'm going to set aside half an hour. I've also set aside half an hour to speak a bit of Chinese. So I'm going to study a bit of Chinese because I need to book my exam soon. My HSK 5. So I'll be doing that soon. Yes, that is the national anthem. God Save the King. Cool. That's good. I mean, if it's a paid consultancy gig for China, I'm always open to hear opportunities. I'm just Sorry, guys. I've got my team messaging me like crazy. Um, so yeah, just get in touch. I do miss that a little bit about the UK, which I don't really have in Shanghai. I mean, Shanghai has bars, but that is the good thing about London, which it is dying a bit as a culture. Usually after work, one night a week or once a month, people in some companies will get together and go for a beer after work. And I do miss that a little bit, not necessarily because of the drinking. I'm not into drinking at all, but just the camaraderie, getting together. And that's why I set up this little group with me and my mates recently, just to kind of get some lads together and just hang out. Because I'm always really envious of women. Like women can hang out together as girls and like do their nails or go shopping or do whatever that they do. And if you just threw a guy in there, like it would be a bit odd, right? Sometimes guys just want to be with guys and girls just want to be with girls. Sometimes, I'm not saying all the time. So yeah, I do sometimes just like hanging out. No, right now being a pub owner is like the 5 businesses you don't want to be is a club owner, a pub owner, owning a cinema, owning a farm, like if you're a farmer, and selling ice. So they're like the 5 things you don't want to do in the UK. Terrible businesses. You would not want to own a pub. Actually, one of my first jobs when I was 18 was working in a pub. And although I learned a lot about customer service, it's one of the worst jobs in the world because I mean, you learn how to be social, but at the same time, I was always the first one to arrive, last one to leave. I never got tips because it was England, and I didn't work in the restaurant. If you worked in the restaurant, you got tips. I always felt not drunk, but a little bit tipsy working in a pub because you're constantly being surrounded by alcohol and your hands are wet and you're pouring beer and so I always felt at the end of the night I was always a little bit like ooh. So yeah, last one to leave because you have to lock up. I used to hate going down into the cellar because the beer, they're in those beer kegs. So I'd have to go down, change the barrels, and it would take a long time. And so working in a pub is the worst job. It's not good. I mean, when Jeremy Clarkson has the pub on that Clarkson's farm, it looks all amazing, but actually, it's not good at all. Leisure time. I mean, young people just stay in now. That's the thing about the UK. Clubs and pubs and all that, they're all dying in the UK, unfortunately. I wish it was more, people getting out and being social. I think it's important to go to the pub every now and again and be with friends, guys and girls, and socially, I think we've got real issues. I think guys especially can't go up to women anymore and say, "Look, you look really nice. I want to get to know you. Let's go for a coffee sometime." That's just like young men. Just yeah, they've got real issues. I feel quite privileged. I was from that generation that didn't have to go through all that. We still had some balls. So yeah, but I think what do young people do in the UK now? They just go on their phone all day, which is not good. You need to get out and getting good night's sleep, good diet, working out. What's that? And being social, like going to networking events or just going for a coffee with a friend is so important. You must, if you've been inside your apartment or in your office for the last few weeks and you haven't been social, you need to sort that out. That's all I'm going to say. Get out and meet people, have a coffee with someone, make some eye contact, have a laugh, talk about life, talk about plans and travel. It's so important. But I think, yeah, young men have got issues. I also think women, if a guy approaches you in a nice way, obviously if he's creepy, then ignore him. But I think it's so important for women to, if a guy does approach you, that give them the time of day, even if you're not interested in them. I always say this to my female friends. I always say, if a guy approaches you and you're not interested, don't don't be a bitch about it, right? Don't, you know, or ignore or walk off. Just say, hey, thank you so much. I'm simply not interested, or I've got a boyfriend, or whatever it is. Have a great day. And just keep it positive. If the guy has been nice about it, obviously, if he's a bit creepy, then. But if a guy has got the cojones, the balls, the confidence to come up to you, then give him the time of day. I always say this. I was speaking to one of my female friends the other day, and she said, "Face that." I'm like, no, that's the worst thing you can do. The best thing you can do is just be positive. Just say, thank you for approaching. If you're not interested, yeah. See how I turn that around? Quite interesting. Cool, guys. In about 5 minutes, I'm gonna 下播. 5分钟以后会下播. I'm gonna cut this in a bit. Yeah. So if anyone's got any final questions, 你们有没有最后的问题? Final questions, guys, because I'm going to cut soon. And then it'll be 6 p.m. And then I've got a bit more work to do. I've got to study some Chinese tonight. I've got to play my guitar. Got to speak to some family. By the way, this is not an English session. This is not learning English. My channel is not about learning English. If you want to get some free English, that's not what my channel is about. I'm all about business, China. Good questions, though, guys. Really good questions tonight. 很感谢你们的支持。我的目标是4000的点赞，所以你们可以快点点赞。Do British people still wear? So Fila has never really been an in brand in the UK, but in China, I know Fila has become really popular recently. But Fila is not British, right? I think Fila's. Where's Fila from? It's not British. Fred Perry's British. Yeah, it's South Korean. Hangul. Oh, no, hold on a second. No. Originally it was Italian, which makes sense. Yeah, Fila. And it was more of a tennis brand in the 70s. But Fila, not so much. But Fred Perry, yeah, you still see people wearing Fred Perry. I mean, they're kind of tennis brands, aren't they? Both of them. Yeah, but yeah, Fred Perry has always been. It's gone through some image changes. Fred Perry became when I was a teenager, became a bit of a a chavvy brand, to be honest. By the way, not happy birthday to me. We should say happy birthday to Wei Xing. Wei Xing, 生日快乐. Happy birthday to WeChat. I can speak it, but I'm not going to speak it. That phrase, I only say it if I get gifts or I get Zan. Will English bottle, I said the word bottle the league this year? I don't think they will. I think they will win it, Rocco, my good friend Rocco. Hope you're doing well, mate. I think they're going to hold on. I think they'll do well. I bloody well hope so. I don't know if you guys can see that. That is, can you see that there? That's my Arsenal shirt. Hold on. Can I get that? This is my Arsenal shirt from when I was, it's got my surname on the back. There you go. Look at that. 14, because I used to love Henri. But this shirt, you can see how small it is. I wore this, I think this is from 2002. So I remember this being a Christmas present. And I'll tell you an interesting story about this shirt. I accidentally found this shirt. It was a Christmas present. I accidentally found it when I was going through a cupboard one day. So that's but yeah, I think Arsenal will win it. I think they'll do it. Sorry, guys. My team is messaging me. They're like, "Where are you?" I'm like, they don't know I'm live streaming. Ha 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 ha. So guys, I'm gonna cut it soon. I'm gonna cut it in the next minute or so. Liverpool bottled it as well. See, I really liked that Liverpool team under Klopp. I miss that team. Well, I don't miss it because they'd always smash Arsenal, but when Salah was flying and all that. So yeah, I'm gonna shabble soon, guys. But yeah, appreciate your support. Really lovely questions today, guys. Oh, by the way, this always saves. So you can go back and watch it, which is pretty cool. But I'll try and do a live stream tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Beijing time, China time, because I've really got into my fitness at the moment, as you can see. Power. And I'm going to try and do a little live stream to do my HIIT. I'm going to start doing HIIT HIIT in the morning. Not every morning, just maybe 2-3 times a week. But yeah, guys, really appreciate everyone's support. You guys are amazing. 我爱你们，我感谢你们的支持。你们可以私信我，我有自己的微信群，粉丝微信群。I have my own WeChat fan group. If anyone wants to join, just need to message me. And appreciate the support. 非常感谢你们，我爱你们。新年快到了，马上到。恭喜你发财。Anyway, guys, have a lovely evening and stay safe, work hard, play hard, go to bed early, and don't use your phone before bed unless you're watching my videos. It's the only valid excuse before you go to bed is to watch my videos. Have a nice evening. Take care. 再见. Bye-bye.